Bengals, if they go a third straight year of not making the playoffs, then all of a sudden Joe Burrow is, his status as a quote-unquote elite quarterback in the eyes of most has to change. All of a sudden he gets relegated to that second tier of quarterbacks.
So since Burrow got drafted in 2020, the Bengals have struggled to begin a regular season as they posted a .380 win percentage in the first 5 games over that span. Burrow himself also struggling with a QBR 52 in that span compared to a 67 QBR the rest of the way. Kimberly, it takes him a little bit to get started.
A little bit.
It feels like the whole squad. How much blame does Burrow deserve for the Bengals' woes?
So here is what I'm not about to let Big Chris Radio Canty do, is put blame on Joe Burrow. I'm sorry, because you can't watch the season that he had last year and say, you know what, that guy, he's the reason they can't get to the playoffs. Not when he was carrying an entire offense with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and carrying an entire defense. The amount of, they scored almost 35 points a game in a lot of their losses. That's on the defense. Now, one of Chris's points was, well, he played GM, saying that they should sign Jamar and T. I believe a lot of us felt that they needed, when you have 2 good receivers like that, you keep the nucleus together. I'm not sure why Chris is so determined to drop Joe Burrow out of that elite category when the play dictates that he should be there.
Stephen A?
Well, that's Chris being Chris. I mean, I don't know what the hell has happened to this man since he got on radio. I mean, something's just not right. Something's just not right. I mean, he done lost his mind. I mean, he's crazy, half the time, but he knows his football. I love him too. Here's the deal. Joe Burrow, I don't want to hear about Joe Burrow. And RC and Kimberly, you doing the great job covering the NFL all these years as you have. Y'all know I'm right about this. People think I'm exaggerating and I'm playing around when I say this. There needs to be an investigation into Zach Taylor and the Cincinnati Bengals coaching staff. I mean, what the hell are you doing over the last 6 years? But you continuously lose the first 2 games of every season. It's like this for training games. It's like they're doing preseason. It's like you can pencil them in for a loss no matter what talent they have had. Do y'all know that the Cincinnati Bengals, the only time they've won a game in the first 2 weeks of the season, the last 6 years, is the year they went to the Super Bowl and they finished 10-7 that year? That's the only time. Outside of that, these guys, they lose the first 2 weeks. What are you doing? The lack of preparation, I cannot believe a team this talented offensively, continuously, you can pencil them in to be in an 0-2 hole. That's them. We look at your coaching staff when it comes down. You find your defensive coordinator for a reason. You couldn't tackle, you couldn't defend the run, you messed up in coverages for crying out loud. Couldn't get your act together. That's why you got a new defensive coordinator. You want to talk about Joe Burrow being the GM? Well, isn't he worthy? Led the NFL with 4,918 yards passing, 43 touchdown passes, also led the NFL, only 9 interceptions. QBR was 3rd in the NFL. Passer rating was 3rd in the NFL. Completion percentage was 4th in the NFL. This brother had 8 consecutive games where he threw for over 250 yards and 3 touchdowns. What are we talking about here? They lost 4 games last year when the brother scored more than 33 points. Right, and we're going to look at him? And oh, by the way, knowing all of this, RC, this brother shows up Super Bowl week in New Orleans on the set of First Take. Molly was right there. And what did this dude say? We got to pay Jamar Chase. We got to pay T. Higgins. We got to pay Trey Hendrickson. They took care of 2 of them. You damn right. Listen, if he's the GM, guess what? At least he's getting something done. I ain't blaming Joe Burrow. That brother's the truth. It's the team. It's the organization. They need to get their act together.
RC? Joe's not getting any blame here, guys?
Listen, I was talking to somebody about Stephen A. the other day, and I was like, it's amazing to watch him walk into the studio with that slow, sultry saunter, and then when the lights come on, he's a different dude. I don't even know how he does it, because this argument, the question is so ridiculous, and Stephen A. gave us the passion like it was actually a relevant and valid point. Joe Burrow takes none of the blame for the Cincinnati Bengals not making it to the playoffs. Let's just think about the seasons Joe Burrow has actually finished. In 2 of those seasons, you go to the AFC Championships. In 1 of those seasons, you advance. And then you look at last year, and he's the best quarterback in the world, and it's not a conversation. I was talking this offseason to a lot of defensive coaches, and I was talking to a defensive coach, and he talked to me about Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, and Patrick Mahomes. And he says to me, he was like, bro, he's like, those dudes just know how to make something out of nothing. But the reason he thought Joe Burrow was the best was, he said, but Joe Burrow never misses the something. There's something to be said for a dude that knows how to put the football where it's supposed to go. And then when you have a T. Higgins and when you have a Jamar Chase, many times those lead to explosive plays. And Joe Burrow didn't play general manager. What Joe Burrow did is what the greatest players can always do. They can say, hey, I want this. And because they want it, teams understand we better make this dude happy. And in making him happy, he begins to pay dividends on the field for us. And the other piece of it is this. You should have wanted to keep T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. You should want to keep Trey Hendrickson. Those are the best 3 players on your team outside of Joe Burrow. And I don't understand Chris's incessant need to make us not believe in Joe Burrow, or for Joe Burrow to not be a part of the conversation he has earned his way into being a part of. But you just gotta watch the game. There's a drop in the corner in game 1. There's a fumble going across the line against the New England Patriots. Then there's this. Now, Joe Burrow did fumble against Kansas City, but on 4th down, you get a pass interference that gives Kansas City the ball back to go win the game. You can see what happened in the first 2 games. And so, do they have to fix that? Yes. But none of these problems are Joe Burrow problems. RC. If they got 99 problems, Joe Burrow ain't one.
You're missing it, RC. Radio has done something.
With the Chris Canty
that's what this is.
Chris Canty is my boy. He's great on the show. This is
listen. Chris Canty knows his damn football, okay?
Yes.
And he wants it. But the point is, the critical eye has intensified. I mean, you talk about me walking into the studio and then I become a different person when the lights come on. You see this, brother? When radio, I mean, the microphone gets turned on. Something happens to this man, and Chris Canty has flipped. I mean, this dude. I mean, I'm waiting for him to critique the socks that Joe Burrow wears. He might find that now. I don't know with this guy. Chris Canty's different breed, man. He's different breed.
Hey, when Chris Canty walks into the radio studio, he is clearly the biggest man in there. But once he sits, he must turn into a small dude because he gets the little man syndrome and he pissed off about everything.
Oh my goodness.
RC,
This
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say. I can't say anything good about that big man. I mean, that's a mammoth of a man. Right there. I'm not gonna say
I
that.
don't want to hear
I mean, he
how
takes
you
up all the
observe
space in the
Kimberly and I
damn
walking
studio.
into the studio.
I ain't gonna say that.
I don't want that breakdown. You gotta keep that one to yourself. But Stephen A., he described you as sultry, so I just want you to hold on to that because that's a once in a lifetime. You're gonna get that. Okay? Yeah. Sultry.